Hi guys, I'm Michelle from Harcourts. Good to see you again. And this month we are very pleased to have Brendan Hart with us today. He's a very special man. He's got a building and development background, and he's the number one man in Cameron Bailey's team. Their team is the number one team across all offices and all brands in real estate in New Zealand. Thank you for joining us, Brendan.
You're welcome. I'm pleased to be here.
First of all, we would give the audience some update on the monthly data. From the latest data compared to the month before, October this year, we had a very slight increase, which is 0.7% increase in median price, which is pretty much nothing, it's quite flat. And year on year, it's 1.6%, again, very flat. So price-wise, we haven't seen any big changes, big movement in the past quarter. But the interesting thing is, in terms of sales count, which is the volume, we have been seeing continuous increase and big increases. Compared to the months before, we had a 16.7% increase. Year on year, that was 15% increase. What are your thoughts around those changes?
Yeah, well, that's right. It's been quite an active market, and it has been probably for the most of the year, really, because we've just started to see these figures get reported. But it's been very buoyant out there, and we're also starting to see a bit more competition in the auction room, aren't we? What we often see is there's a few things that happen before the market starts to move, and you see that yourself. We see the volume of houses getting sold, and we also see land getting sold and an increase in land prices, and that'll start to affect probably what values are in the next 12 months. But really good volume, a good balanced market at the moment, that I think. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna have some hard questions for you, Brendan. For price-wise, obviously we read the GDP reports and everything. I think it's all related to how the country's economy is doing. The interest rate dropped, but we haven't seen any big jumps in price. That's probably because our economy is still suffering.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and I think that in the general sense that we need to see the economy stimulate and for the money to flow through the economy. But what we are seeing on the coalface, and you'll be seeing this too, is land prices are starting to get higher and there's more competition on it. If you think about Merivale, this is where we see the first shift value increases. If we go back a year ago, we were selling land in Merivale for about $2,500 a square metre, and this was land you can develop and put multi-units on. Just recently we've had quite a few sales at about $2,800 a square metre, with the odd about $3,000 a square metre. Well, that's the first sign that we're going to see some increase in prices as we move forward into the next 12 months. Because developers, building costs haven't gone down. In fact, they're still sort of going up. So we've got increase in building costs, obviously increase of land value, and that's purely off competition because you've got other players in the market who want to come into Merivale, buy some land and build a house and to sell to the market. So lots of developers really wanting to get involved in there. What we're seeing here is we're getting more and more sales going along, decrease in interest rates, and once they start to be felt through the economy, and then you'll see some real good movement from a value point of view. Maybe it's 6 to 12 months away, but it's already starting to happen in the more desirable areas.
In Merivale, it's a higher density area. A lot of the lands, they're zoned for MRZ, medium density and high density, which allows for development. A lot of the stocks currently on the market, they probably got their building consent from 2 to 3 years ago, but some of the developers hold off because they're short of building material back then. A lot of stocks, they only just got completed and then put on the market now. Some of the stories I heard, that's because the developer took slightly longer compared to normal. The land price go up is because their project pretty much finished on the market, they're gonna get sold and they need land now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some people were holding off before they started to build because they wanted a better market or a better value at the other end. But I think what we're seeing really is that anything on the market at the moment is really as cheap as it's going to be. And you're quite right, developers look forward and they're looking the next 12, 18 months to 2 years. And they're buying land for projects that they'll start building in a year's time or 18 months' time. So if everybody's doing that, they sometimes compete pretty hard for land, and that obviously pushes the price up. I think if you're looking for a townhouse or a really nice property in the Merivale area, I just don't think you're going to buy it any cheaper than what you're going to buy it today, because land values are going up, building costs are high anyway, and they're not going to go down. So the next available homes in say 12 months time, 18 months time, they're just going to have to be more. They're going to have to be a greater value, because the developers need to make some money on the way through.
A lot of the people they thought the building cost went up simply because of the inflation, but it's not. It's also because the higher standard, much higher building code. That means you're getting much better product. If you look at the brand new houses we are having now, so much better insulation.
So all the building code's been improving over the last half a dozen years, so that does add to cost, but what the return is, you just get a better home.
Much better home, and it saves you power bill and everything at the end.
It's a positive thing, but it just costs a little bit more, and that has to be passed on to us as consumers. So.
Thank you for that.